Good afternoon. As it is 5:30 p.m., I will call this City Council meeting of October 7th, 2025 to order. We acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people and pay our respect to those past and present. Tonight's invocation will be provided by Pastor Matthew Erikson of First Reformed Church. Please stand for the invocation.
We should all be in Mariners shirts. I got the tie.
All right, this will be both a physical meeting and a virtual meeting. Some members of city staff or consultants may be participating via teleconference. Today's meeting may be viewed on YouTube, Facebook, and following the meeting on cable channel 10 HD 1090. Everyone is present and accounted for, so no need to take roll. Moving on to approval of agenda. Are there any Yes, you're all here. Are there any suggested changes to the regular agenda? If none, it is approved as presented, and we will move on to presentations. And tonight, we do have a presentation from the Oak Harbor Police Department with a 25-year recognition to Police Support Officer Greg Woodward. And here to introduce Mr. Woodward and his recognition is our Police Chief, Tony Slowick.
We can steal this one. We can adapt it. All right. Is that working now? Yep. All right. Okay, we'll do this again. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Chief Slowick. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Greg Woodward and to recognize his 25 years of service to the City of Oak Harbor. First of all, let me just say that 25 years in law enforcement is like dog years and is really like probably 40 years at a fire department is probably really what it is. But we don't get to sleep at night, so that would just starting there. But it, you know, people like Officer Woodward make our department very special. So let me just tell you a little bit about him. So Police Support Officer Greg Woodward is recognized for his 25 years of dedicated service to the City of Oak Harbor. Police support officers are corrections certified employees who serve in dual roles for the Oak Harbor Police Department. PSO Woodward's primary role is the city's animal control officer, with additional duties including working in the police temporary holding facility and transporting in-custody individuals to contracted jail facilities in the Puget Sound. As the animal control officer, PSO Woodward works collaboratively with WAIF, which is Would-Be Animal Improvement Foundation. That's our animal shelter in the county. And also with Naval Air Station Woodby Island, because he covers all of their jurisdiction for animal services. Additionally, he works with Island County staff and handles all of the animal control matters for the city. He's been instrumental in developing and revising standard operating procedures, department policies, and recommending changes to the city ordinances. He has also previously served as a corrections officer and a Washington State Certified Defensive Tactics instructor for the state. PSO Woodward's impact often goes unnoticed. He's a person that has a great heart, and he's a team player, and he frequently connects residents with pets to available services, and has been successful in coordinating the rehoming of pigs, ducks, chickens, and any other animal that WAIF doesn't handle. Additionally, he can be found picking up abandoned shopping carts and debris left out in our city streets, parks, and properties. PSO Woodward's routinely checks on police staff. He looks to make sure that he's can be very helpful in making someone's day a little bit better. He was recently acknowledged by staff with the Most Inspirational Award, noting that Greg consistently radiates positivity, enthusiasm in his role. His uplifting spirit and can-do attitude inspired those around him, making our workplace and community a better place. So with that, I'd just like to close and say PSO Woodward represents the Oak Harbor Police Department's values of respect, integrity, and excellence. And it's with my great pleasure to give him this certification of commendation for his 25 years. Thank you, sir. And I think he wants to say something.
Just put these on, I can see fine. So time is the most valuable resource we all have. It doesn't come back once it's spent. Excuse me. Spend it wisely with those you care about. I've worked for several chiefs in my career. Those chiefs' names are Barge, Allman, Wallace, Green, Dresker, and now Chief Slowick. If any of you were able to recognize those names, congratulations, you too soon will qualify for the AARP. I am currently the longest standing member at the police department. I started my career in 2000. I have both good memories and sad memories that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. I have worked as a police support officer recently. Enjoy that career, get to do multiple tasks. I like not being restrained and saying I only have to do one thing, so I appreciate the chief allowing me to do lots of different tasks. Throughout my career, I have performed collateral duties like defensive tactics instructor, field training officer in the jail. I was an FTO for that. And currently I'm doing animal control and any other objects and processes I could do to help out. Working law enforcement is difficult for every division, from the records to patrol to detectives, and I've learned this year even administration. They have a hard time managing us. To those that are still in law enforcement, still working here, still trying, still showing up and putting on the gear each day, I appreciate and respect you. My ability to survive and thrive in a career that many have quit. I don't think there's anybody in my academy that still does the job, but when in 2000, but my ability has been the great support of my wife, putting up with me through my taekwondo injuries and full contact stuff I should have done, and then working the job, missing back in the days when we did nights and 12 hours missing events. The sacrifices she's put in there. I appreciate you. You're a great example to the community. I feel my work in the police department has provided me with an avenue to progress into a better person over the years. I'm not there yet, but I appreciate all the mentors and help. I didn't grow up with a very good family, so it's nice to get that. 25 years is half my life, almost half my life. Just want to say thank you. The chief really surprised me when he said some stuff in my courage I didn't even know he knew about, so thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the city and the services you guys provide.
So, Officer Woodward, before you leave, I just want to personally thank you for the interactions during the Citizens Academy. That was a lot of fun with you. and our lunch last month in honoring you for being nominated for Employee of the Month. You had a lot of great stories. It was a lot of fun to sit and visit with you for that hour. So thank you very much. Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Chief Slowick mentioned the Inspiration Award that staff nominated you for last year, and it's, I don't know if anyone shared this with you, but you were one of the, maybe the only, maybe one of two. I had the privilege of reading through all the nominations, and you were nominated by multiple coworkers in multiple categories. And yeah, like every anecdote, every story was really incredible. So whatever you're doing, it's working. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you.
Councilmember Wiesner.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had the privilege of working with Greg on literally on both sides of the fence. Fortunately, not on both sides of the bars. There is a difference. But I have found him obviously to uphold everything that Chief Slowick said about integrity and representing the city well, and just a great human being. So thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? All right, well, thank you again, Officer Woodward, and congratulations. We appreciate you. All right, are we moving on? All right, so we're going to move on then to public, what's that? Moving on to public comments. Members of the public may comment on consent agenda items or subjects of interest not listed on the agenda at this time. There will also be an opportunity to comment on the remaining agenda items during the meeting as appropriate. Comments on public hearing items will be heard during that portion of the agenda. The public can also visit our website prior to our meetings for methods to submit public comments or contact City Clerk Julie Nestor by phone or email. When submitting public comments, or when submitting comments, please include your name and address. Public comments sent anonymously or from a non-verifiable address will be shared with the mayor and council but will not be displayed. We have one new public comment to display since our last regular meeting. Oh. All right, at this time, I will turn to our city clerk and Julie Nestor. And are there any members of the public present who wish to speak to items not listed on the agenda or on the consent agenda that have signed up?
Yes, one moment, Mayor. We'll
Okay.
get the sign-in sheet brought up.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you, Mayor. The first person who is signed up to speak this evening is Joshua Treadway.
Great. Mr. Treadway, if you could step forward, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Yes. Hi, my name is Joshua Treadway. I live at 1141 Southwest Heller within Oak Harbor city limits. Good evening, and I know I've stood up here before about issues that on paper seem way above city council's pay grade. And I know that sometimes I can come across like a rambling old guy who watches too much CNN or too much Fox News. That said, I keep coming back here because when our federal delegation will not answer, this room is one of the precious few places left where a citizen can still be heard. Over the past week, I've called Congressman Larson's office, both senators, Cantwell and Murray, and I even called the Seattle FBI field office. I was trying to get a straight answer about the new National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence. Not one person could tell me about what any of it actually means in practical terms for ordinary citizens. On the surface, it sounds like another executive memo to focus on domestic extremists. I mean, no one's in favor of terrorism. But when you read it closely, it starts listing things like anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity. It lists extremism on migration, race, gender as indicators of a potential threat. This presents massive questions for citizens across the country, including for us here in Oak Harbor. For example, if I criticize the decision to strip the brutality from the history of slavery out of the Smithsonian, does that make me anti-American because I don't glorify the past? If I decided I wanted a new job with a union, like at Safeway, does that make me anti-capitalist because unions organize for better wages? If a local church or nonprofit works to help refugees or support humane immigration reform, would that fall under what the memo calls extremism on migration? This isn't about partisanship. I have no desire to create division on the city council regarding federal issues. However, language like that can chill normal civic life right here. There are no definitions on what extremism on migration, race, and gender are. I have friends who identify as non-binary. Just being friends with them, is that extremism? Because they don't go along with what certain people in federal office consider normative? This affects people here in Oak Harbor because we don't know what these terms mean. They are not defined in the memorandum. So I'm asking you not even to take a side, but to take a stand for clarity. Please consider adopting a formal request to our federal delegation and the Department of Justice, asking them to define exactly what NSP M7 covers, and to guarantee that local civic groups, unions, charities, and residents won't be swept up simply for exercising their First Amendment rights. Because if being anti-capitalist just means wanting fair wages and anti-American means questioning government decisions, then we've lost sight of who we
Mr.
are
Treadway.
and what it means to be American.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treadway.
Mayor, next who has signed up is Ted, and I hope I say your name correctly, Ted Mansica?
That is correct, or close enough.
So, Mr. Mansick, if you could state your name, your address, and limit your comment to 3 minutes, please, sir.
Hi, my name is Ted Mansica. I live at 2890 North Oak Harbor Road, number 410. My comments are going to be related to Valley Mobile Home Park and the process that's happening currently in annexation or such that may be occurring. But first, before I start, I'd like to read RCW to you, RCW 5920-130. And this is section G. Housing authorities by their creation and purpose are public body, corporate, and politic of the city or county responsible for addressing the availability of safe and sanitary dwellings, accommodations available to persons for low-income senior citizens and other. It is the intent of the legislation to encourage and facilitate and preserve the existing manufactured mobile home communities in the event of voluntary sales of manufactured mobile home communities, and to the extent necessary and possible, to involve representing the interests of the tenants, such as nonprofit organizations, housing authorities, or local governments, in preservation of the manufactured mobile home communities, 2008, Chapter 16. I am now going to read you RCW 5920.305, Findings and Intent, 2008, Chapter 116. And I'm only going to skip down, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'm just going to skip down to section B, C, and 5. Therefore, those residents most in need of reasonable security in the sitting of their manufactured mobile homes because of the adverse impacts to health, safety, and welfare of tenants forced to move due to closure, change of use, discontinuance of manufactured mobile home communities, the preservation of manufactured and mobile home communities is more economical alternative than providing new replacement housing for tenants who are displaced from closing manufactured home communities. Section 5, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but should be the goal of all housing authorities and local governments that the loss of manufactured homes and communities should not result in the net loss of affordable housing. Currently, we know, you all know that Valley Mobile Home Park is being annexed or trying to be annexed into the city. To do that, there are options that were sent to the owners of the mobile home park, the Mangats. Those options, without being rude, seem like they're strong-arming the Mangats to do certain things. I am here to just represent the 57 individuals. I'm an elected precinct member, precinct 18, PCO 256. And I'm here representing them that when you do to make these decisions of annexation, just please think of the people that are living in the community before you sign the agreements with the landlord, or make sure that the landlord understands the agreements are to help the individuals living there and not to annex them out and get rid of the mobile home park. One last thing, you'll see a mobile home park at the end of Heller that was gotten rid of years ago. It's still there. So these processes take 20-plus years before you can even build on it. So please think about us before you sign an agreement with the Mangats and the property owners to just displace us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, the last person that signed up is Darren Cook.
Mr. Cook, if you could state your name, address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes, please, sir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Darren Cook, 750 Southwest Thornberry Drive, Oak Harbor, Washington. So, I'm here about pickleball. Some of you may know that already. I just want to reassert, this is what we want for now. We want the court at Fort Nugent that's a basketball court. We want it repurposed to pickleball. We want the basketball nets taken down and the hoops and the whole works. We want permitted pickleball nets, and we want fence around it. What we don't want is something at Windjammer. And I passed out a copy of an email to you, just so you know. And I want to read this for the public record, if I could. To whom it may concern, now this is from Lamont Webster, president of the Oak Harbor Basketball Club. I'm writing on behalf of the Oak Harbor Basketball Club and not the Oak Harbor community at large. I would like to clarify that our organization has never used the basketball courts at Fort Nugent Park for any practices or tournaments. Additionally, I do not foresee the club utilizing those courts in the future. Our tournaments have consistently been held at the basketball courts located at Windjammer Park, which we prefer our events and activities. So again, I just want to be clear what we want. We're asking for those 3 courts at Fort Nugent. We definitely are in support of the Fort Nugent project of the 8 courts, but we believe that it's probably more than likely going to be 2 years or more, and we need courts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, that concludes those that had signed up in advance.
Great, thank you, Julie. Is there anybody here with us this evening that didn't have an opportunity to sign up when coming in that would like to step forward and make public comment at this time? All right, yes. All right.
Brian Supplewit, 1175 Southwest Heller. Same thing. I'm here to advocate for the pickleball courts. I mean, as most of us are. What you're not seeing is hundreds and hundreds of us that are in this association and group that we're trying to get together and play, and it's just so tough. It was just the other day, there was, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 of us at the courts, and there's 4 really bad courts at the Rotary, and it's just a nightmare every time, and we can't play. Like I said last time, I drive down to Mount Vernon just so I can play. So I'm just pushing for you guys. Hopefully you push that forward as quickly as possible. Anything you can do, it is growing. There are so many beginner players that show up there. We introduce ourselves, we say hi, but we can't play and do much with them just yet. So more courts will open it up for all these players that want to play. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else here with us this evening that would like to step forward and make public comment at this time? All right, hearing none, we will close public comment and move on to our consent agenda. Staff has presented the listed consent agenda items, all of which were included in the meeting packet. Are there any objections or changes to the consent agenda as presented? All right, hearing none, may I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Councilmember Wittgenstein, seconded by Councilmember Merrow. Is there any further discussion before I call for a vote? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, that is approved unanimously. We will now move on to mayor's comments. Harbor Master Elise Henry and staff provided tours of the Oak Harbor Marina to Northwest Washington outreach directors from both Senator Cantwell's and Senator Murray's offices. Senator Cantwell has voiced her support of the city's grant request for marina repairs and dredging. 8 veterans reunited on Whidbey Island in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the commissioning of the USS Whidbey Island. Their day started with lunch with Captain Gamache on the base, continued with a tour of VP 69, along with a visit to the Pacific Northwest Naval Air Museum, and ended with a visit to City Hall. Dia de Fiesta, this local Hispanic Latin Heritage Festival, celebrated its 3rd annual event this past weekend with a fantastic turnout. City Administrator Combs and I, as well as members of our council, attended and enjoyed tasty food and live music. The Dia de Fiesta will be held the first Saturday of October annually. Way to go, staff. Deputy City Administrator and Finance Director David Goldman was recently featured in the Association of Washington City's City Vision publication. David and former interim finance director and consultant Mike Bailey provided 7 tips for better budgeting and shared advice for ways cities of all sizes can improve their budget processes and build public trust. David serves on numerous committees and the Government Finance Officers Association and is a member of the Government Accounting Standards Advisory Council. Thank you for all you do, David. Employee survey progress. The number of city employees providing their feedback in our newly launched employee survey continues to grow. We are now at over 49% participation and hope to see this number continue to climb. We'll be celebrating by delivering donuts to all city facilities this coming Friday. We delivered an ice cream treat when we passed the 25% mark week before last. We're trying to bribe them, so. And if we reach 90% participation, we will have a paid day off on Christmas Eve for the entire city. Washington State Ferries seeks your input. This is very important. Washington State Ferries is hosting 2 virtual community meetings on Tuesday, October 14th at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Washington State Ferry leaders plan to recap the busy peak service season and provide an update on electrification, workforce development, and fee increases. I'm going to preface fee increases because they are substantial and you might want to be there and voice your concerns. The public will have the chance to ask questions and share feedback directly with Washington State Ferry leadership. Each virtual meeting will be recorded for those who cannot attend. Scan the QR code on the screen to register for the virtual meeting. The Great Shakeout, the world's largest earthquake drill and tsunami siren test, will take place on Thursday, October 16th at 10:16 a.m. You can participate at work, at school, or at home. Go to www.shakeout.org/Washington to register or receive more information. Upcoming events. There are a number of events to look forward to in October, of which are being held at the Center, Boo and Glue, an event to create and take home Halloween decorations, and is Saturday, October 11th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Art and Elegance, a dinner and live and silent auction to benefit the Whidbey Homeless Coalition, will be October 25th at 5:30 p.m. Visit their website at whidbeyhomeless.org for more information. We still have some openings on several of our city advisory boards and commissions. See the city's website for information on how to apply and requirements for applicants. Stay connected to city information and activities at any time by visiting our website and our Facebook page. With that, the last big announcement is we have a joint meeting with Island County Board of Commissioners in place of the council's regular workshop meeting. We will hold a special joint meeting with the Island County Board of Commissioners on October 28, 2025 from 1 to 4 p.m. Thank you to the 5 council members who have responded so far to confirm we will have a quorum. Location at either the council chambers or the commission chambers is to be determined. I think we plan to do it here pretty much. What I would like to ask now, though, is what would be your preference? Because there are 3 items that need to be presented to you all through our normal workshop to keep on pace with making sure that we hit the deadline for the beginning of November. So we're either going to need to do that from 10 to 12 in the morning or from 4 to 6 after the joint meeting with the county commissioners. So what would be your preference?
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, I'd accommodate, for the benefit of staff.
Oh, never mind.
The morning would be, but I'll accommodate you.
Well, it's up to you guys. It's your meeting. So, you know, if we do 10 to 12, then we'll have an hour lunch. You guys will get lunch. We'll bring lunch in, and then we'll do the joint meeting from 1 to 4.
And Mayor, I think one of the things to note is that we have some items that we really want to cover in
No,
workshop.
I preface that. There are two
Yeah.
ordinances, and then we have a comp plan element that we want to discuss with you guys. So I don't want to not take our time to go over these 3 important items, and that's what was scheduled for the workshop. Some other items have already been pushed out. We've just went ahead and moved those, but these 3 items have to stay on task. So, yeah.
Oh, so do I understand it's a free lunch?
Yes.
I'm in.
I would suggest that there's any council member who could not make the morning. That would be the question.
Okay, so is there anyone that can't do 10 to 12? All right, I don't want to mandate this, but. Okay. All right, so we're going to go with 10 to 12, and then we'll break an hour for lunch and do 1 to 4. I'm sorry. I know that's not your preference. All right.
Are we doing both meetings here?
Yes, we'll be here the whole time. Yep, yep. So we're gonna reconfigure. No. Here, and we're gonna reconfigure the space, and we'll all be at the table. So, all right. Thank you very much. So we're gonna do 10 to 12, break for an hour for lunch, and then do 1 to 4 for the joint meeting. All right. We have city council comments now. Call upon council for any council comments, and ask council members to please notify the city clerk of any community events they plan to attend, so that a notice of attendance can be issued in the case of a possible quorum. With that, I'll turn it over to you. Councilmember Arms.
I went out to Freedom Park. The arborist and one of the other park officials was there. They had a group of people. We had a tour of what they've been doing. They planted some trees, and it was about an hour and a half, and it was a really good event, and it was really awe-inspiring to see how much work they've already done. So I was really impressed by what they've accomplished.
Thank you for that update. Anything else for the good of the order? Councilmember Romero? Go ahead, yeah.
So in keeping with the mayor's direction to report on the transit district, which I'm pleased to do, as of last week, issuing of the purchase orders for 12 new hybrid electric buses has been issued, and that will take approximately 18 months from Gillick Bus Manufacturing. And then also the transit district has decided to, maybe patterned after the commissions of the city, but in any case, have a citizen advisory board established. And that's going to be a work in progress over the coming weeks. Also, with regard to the manufacturing of the hybrid electric buses, there's a question about the tariffs and how much they would affect it. Finally, the automatic passenger count system is an ongoing work in progress. Of course, the installation can be much more expensive than the annual, but we don't really have a time frame on it. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Councilmember Stuckey, you have an update? Anything? Thursday? Okay. Anything else? All right. All right, and we're going to move on then for approval of accounts payable vouchers. Chamber of Commerce. This voucher list contains a payment or payments to the Greater Oak Harbor Chamber of Commerce, of which Councilmember Marshall is the executive director. In order to avoid a conflict of interest, Councilmember Marshall has stated that he will recuse himself from a vote on such payments, which are now a separate agenda item. I will confirm that we've had no public comment on this issue.
That's correct, Mayor. No public comments were received.
All right, and at this time, I will request any public comment from those gathered with us here this evening on this issue before I call upon council for their questions and comments. Any questions, any comments? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the accounts payable vouchers by Councilmember Wigginstein. Let me help you. And then it's seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. Is there any further discussion before I call for a vote? Yes, Councilmember. Oh, no, okay. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. All right, so that looks like 6-4 and 1 abstention. Is that correct? Okay. Just confirming. All right, last item on our agenda today is the Rural County Economic Development Grant, Mulberry Village. And here to introduce that is our grants administrator, Wendy Horn. There she is. Hi.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This evening, we're going to talk about the Rural County Economic Development Funds. So, the Island County adopted the Rural County Economic Development Tax per RCW 8214-370, and per this RCW, monies can be used to finance public facilities serving economic development purposes, construction of affordable workforce housing infrastructure or facilities, or personnel costs in an economic development office. The county also adopted Resolution C-1918 authorizing the Island County Rural County Economic Development Infrastructure Investment Program, also known as RCED. This program is a grant provided only to local governments per the RCW. The City Council adopted its 25-26 council priorities during the budget cycle in 2024. And one of those priorities was the support of the development of affordable housing in the city. So, a little bit of background. Opportunity Council and Shelter Resources came to the city last year in 2024 and asked us to partner with them to apply for a Department of Commerce grant, which is the Connecting Housing to Infrastructure program, also known as CHIP. We applied for $1 million on their behalf. We did not get that grant. We just reapplied for the 2025 cycle for the same amount of money. And we'll hear in January whether or not we receive it this year. And then in August, Opportunity Council presented the Mulberry Village Affordable Housing Project to the Board of County Commissioners. At that time, the city submitted a letter of support indicating it would assist in managing and administering the funding for the project if the county commissioners agreed to it. They are seeking $2 million to fund basically the road infrastructure in the Mulberry Village complex. This is generally their timeline, or their goal for their timeline to develop the project if all of their funding is in place. The city is doing this as a partnership with Island County to support affordable housing projects that will ultimately benefit the citizens of Oak Harbor. Cody Bakken is here from Island County. He actually manages the RCED program, and he can answer any questions that you might have that I can't.
All right, so I will first confirm that we received no public comment on this issue.
That's correct, Mayor. This is an information-only item, and no public comment was received.
Okay, great. And then is there anyone here with us this evening that would like to make public comment on this? Yes, sure. Step forward, state your name.
Again, my name is Ted Mansika, Precinct 18, District 259, PCO, representing Valley Mobile Home Park and the 18th District, all the individuals in there, but specifically the Valley Mobile Home Park. It sounds like we have some money that we could use to maybe help the Mangats fix whatever they need to fix to keep us in our mobile homes. And I also encourage you to come down and check out our mobile homes to make sure you understand that we're not living in a bunch of shanties, that we actually live in homes. My home value was probably $150,000 before the newspaper article came out and said we were all going to be evicted, so I probably lost 30 grand right there just in my house, just so you know. But hey, it looks like we got some money maybe coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to step forward and make comment at this time? All right, hearing none, I would entertain comments or questions from council at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm definitely in support of this. Just from speaking from my personal experience working with the Northwest Clean Air Agency, we have acted as the pass-through organization for a number of grants and working with the Opportunity Council, and they've been wonderful to partner with. We always, whenever an application comes through or an RFP and for a grant and the Opportunity Council's name on it, we know that you know, if this one gets awarded, it's going to go smoothly because they're going to do everything it is that they need to do, and they've just been wonderful to partner with. So I can support this move with a lot of confidence based on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Is there anybody else? Yes, Councilmember Wiesner.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, just for those few people maybe listening and wondering what we're talking about, right? The county has developed funds through a sales tax initiative that was allowed by the state a few years ago, and have been building those funds and are now, putting their money where their mouth is in creating affordable housing. And in fact, the first project is the project on Oak Harbor Road near 10th Avenue, Big Berry Loop area. That is done with county tax funds, is going to be managed by Opportunity Council. This will be hopefully the second affordable housing project that is being spearheaded by the county. Keeping in mind, as far as below market rate housing, I'm thinking back to the 90s, I think, since probably anything new in below market rate housing has been built in the city. So this is a pretty big move. The economic development funds are restricted to housing and infrastructure, and in this particular case, Mulberry Street is designed to go through the middle of this particular project and connect Mulberry Street to Swantown Road. This obviously, is something that's on the city's transportation plan to boot. Now we've got the opportunity to use rural economic development funds to build it. Helps offset the cost of construction of the affordable housing, keeps that down, so that can keep the below market rate going on it. And the county, of course, is the one with the housing authority. The city does not have a housing authority. We have currently nothing in place, quite frankly, in the city of Oak Harbor in our financial structure or anything to create a housing authority or fund a housing authority, but the county does, and this is it's great that we get the opportunity to come in and help be part of this project by helping administer the funds. I agree with Mayor Pro Tem Heisen. I don't see any issues at all with us handling pass-through funds, especially when it's for a project inside the city limits, especially when it's for a project that the city needs. And it's a project that's actually been on plans for many years, and now we're finally going to get it done. So I see no reason not to support it.
Thank you, Councilmember Wiesner. Yes, Councilmember Romero.
Thank you, Mayor. I was going to ask Councilmember Wiesner if he had any comments that would be relevant to the location or siting of that affordable housing project. I'm not aiming for any particular, I just thought with your experience that you would, is it a site appropriate, I guess what I would say?
Yeah, well, ironically, and I'd like to have some conversations maybe with you after the meeting, right, bring you up to speed, but ironically, it's the site of a former mobile home park. It's one that's been sitting empty for several years inside the city. It's a tough project to redevelop. There's a bunch of buried septic tanks and other issues throughout there that have kept it, from being developed for market rate. That, along with having to put in $1 million road, doesn't help market rate builders come along and build and be able to sell and recoup their money. So personally, I have some concerns with traffic, right? Hopefully that will, get alleviated with the through road going where it's at, so that people could bypass the existing intersection that we have at Swantown and Fort Nugent, if they're traveling Heller Road or out to the west side. This road hopefully will stop some of that bottlenecking we've got going on, but the reality is it's one of the largest multifamily zoned parcels we've got in the city. It's sat vacant for many years, tough to develop at market rate, and now we've got somebody coming in developing it and going to create an affordable housing project to boot, so a lot of wins.
Thank you. That answers my question completely, and I support it.
So just to your point, though, and to piggyback on Councilmember Wiesner, before I call on anyone else for comment, one of the things that I was going to specifically ask you to do was to follow up with Island Transit, is those 2 bus stops that are in that area, this new housing and the buses stopping there are creating substantial backups, and it's creating issues for just normal flow of traffic. So I brought this up last week at a county meeting or 2 weeks ago, but I just want to make sure that we continue to make sure that they don't lose focus on this issue, because it is going to be something that becomes even more prevalent as they start filling those units. So, yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right. Is there anybody else that had question or comment on, yes, Councilmember Marshall?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess my question is, I'm assuming this project is bonded like any other projects. If we were going to build roads, if we get the $1 million grant, the opportunity to build roads, my only concern is that they only have approximately 1/3 of the necessary funding. And so if funding doesn't come through in full, are we going to have roads in place without the ability to finish the project? Or so what does that look like?
So they won't be permitting until they have the majority of their funding in place.
Okay.
And I did grab this from a presentation that they made to Island County. So this kind of shows you the funding streams that they're looking at. They are planning to apply for some more HUD money and housing trust fund, but also they're looking at getting a loan, a substantial loan from the bank, which they do have a partner, I believe it's Key Bank, for that.
Okay.
So the project actually won't happen until they have most of their funding in place.
Okay.
I'm looking at Cody to, that's right, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
So your question was specific to roads, though, right? Were you asking?
Is if they were going to build the roads prior to having all their funding secured.
It's a requirement in the permitting process, I thought.
So they're not going to pull the permits until they have their funding secured.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, I mean, again, though, but I mean, the roads are the first, yeah.
Yeah, no,
So-
that was, my concern was more of the funding.
Oh, got it, okay. Yeah, right, yeah, okay. All right, is there anybody else for the good of the order?
Mayor, I was just going to say that we were at IRTPO with some of the future project planning. Staff has been working really hard on making sure that with the road projects in that area, that we're connecting with sidewalks and alternative modes of transport through that area all the way down to the beach. So there's a lot of projects that are in progress that we're designing for future grants that would address that. So we're also looking at that for the future.
There are a lot of those little pocket areas where we go from city to county, and we're trying to address that through the county meetings that we attend on a monthly basis, as well as working with WashDOT at the same time. So we're actively pursuing those things, and they're happy that they want those addressed as well. So they're happy. All right, thank you again, Cody, for being here and being available. We appreciate that. So again, we appreciate the partnership with the county working with us. So that being it, I have no further business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn, seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand. We're